Sarveshwara. Friends, check for all the 9 identities plus 2. The inspired, dynamic sadhaka who is doing the Shravana because he is a Jignasu, because he is a Mumukshu, because he is a Shishya, because he is a Bhakta, because he is a Dharma Savaka, Loka Sevaka, because he is a Vairagi. Also, the 5 sources of blessings, Parabrahma, Ishvara, Devata Gana, Guru Rishimuni Gana, and the Shastra Gana of Shruti Smriti Purana Itihasa. Let us be more and more consciously mindful of all this and know what is to be done and do it. Today's thought before we study our beautiful Shastra, Yoga Vaashishtha, Maharamayam, is how much ever noble the spiritual path may be, the Shastras may be, the theme of the Shastras may be, how much maybe noble the goal may be, and how much ever we seem to be, good to a great extent with our attempts for the Shravana, Sadhana, etc. Still, we have to be mindful, careful regarding our own most slippery or sensitive is the right word. Mind, intellect, and ego. They're so sensitive, so prone for even a very slightest thought. Say of ashraddha, or say of disinterestedness, or say of some one word, one sentence heard from the world, that it loses the charm of spiritual life itself. It may give up the interest in the sadhana. It may discontinue the study of the Shastras. It may just start not only disbelieving, even disagreeing and disliking, even hating also. सडनली हो जाता है, हमको उसका जानकारी नहीं होता. Like, do we become aware before the cancer attacks us, or any of the heart related attack happens, or even पैरालिसिस और नो, वो धीरे 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 हमारे अनजाने में होता हुआ suddenly one day we see the symptom, and when we go and check up, it is found that this is a position now. In the same way, our faculties, they are so volatile. What was said in our morning Yoga Darshanam, the principle the Guru Maharaj said, Kapil Mahamuni or Patanjali ji. But from his saying, this corollary meaning also we can take out. What said? No, ki Vyuthana Samskara are the dharma of Chitta. So to Sarvarthata is the some what you call the Swabhava, dharma of the Chitta. So Vyuthana Nirodha, Sarvarthata, Ekagrata, and one more pair we are going to see tomorrow. So that Vyuthanata, Sarvarthata words can be understood in this parlance, that this chitta gives importance, value to anyone and any words of anyone, opinions of anyone, and then just gives importance, and whatever it has, the earlier its own convictions, strengths, practices, faiths, even though carried from years together, just it loses it. इससे हमको बच के रहना बाबा. How to do? Only one thing. The Lord whom we are trusting, the goal which we have understood and accepted, the means which we are understanding and doing, द गुरु एंड द शास्त्र. मर भी जाए लेकिन उनके प्रति हमारा आस्था श्रद्धा नहीं टूटना, नहीं छोड़ना, नहीं चले जाना. दिस इज द ओनली कमिटमेंट. दिस इज द ओनली थिंग विच वी सेव्स. Otherwise, in this world, people who don't come to classes, never attend satsang, never do any sadhana, do you think they are bad or what? Not at all. Such a beautiful souls, many of them are. Great souls, wonderful. But then the victims of these minds, small little thoughts, suggestions, or the words of people around, छोटे ही होते हैं वो, मीनिंगलेस ही होते हैं. हाँ जी, आज क्या जाना है सत्संग को? दैट्स इट, द वाइफ सेज. And your bondage with the wife of 2700 million kalpas, so much attached to her because she was going on doing Karwa Chauth. You took it so strongly, seriously, that thousands of gurus, acharyas are बुलाएंगे us. आ जाओ सत्संग सुनो. कहाँ सुनेंगे? गए हो? उस दिन के लिए गया तो गया ना. In the same way, sit for your sadhana, upasana, japa. माइंड से बस 10 मिनट रुको, थोड़ा टीवी सीरियल देखेंगे या उनसे बात करेंगे या बाहर घूम के आएंगे या चाय पी के आएंगे या नाश्ता करके आएंगे. सजेशंस, either it is our own or somebody gives suggestion. You are sitting for studying beautifully your yoga vasishtha Ramayana. Somebody calls and they tell some funny things of the world and you are gone for 1 hour in that. बस योग वाशिष्ठ जी देख रहे यार, ये मेरे को पड़ेगा, कहाँ पड़ेगा, गया उस दिन. Or somebody calls and comes और चला मार्केट जा रहा हूँ मैं कुछ खरीदने, है ही क्या. And we feel so pleasured and happy that somebody is recognizing I am present. Our one faltu thing in our life is we can't live independently. Somebody should do our khushamadi or something or the other. There was somebody calls us, all our studies, sadhana, everything. We just leave and just go behind them. A person calling, a work calling, an indulgence, enjoyment calling, a distracting calling, a small suggestion coming in the mind. It is just like Manthara spoiling the mind of Kaikeyi. What an amount of love Kaikeyi has for Rama, Rama for Kaikeyi. But that stupid lady, 5-10 मिनट में इसको ऐसा चढ़ाया दिमाग में. She says Rama should go to jungle and Bharata should become king. Abbaapre. And led to what a calamity you can see. So we has become spiritual, na? What is the meaning of Atma eva Atmana Bandhu, Atma eva Atmana Shatru is this one. Very weak, fickle, fragile. You know, that conviction, strengthless, our faculties inner succumb to these inner or outer enemies. I'm talking about those who have come onto the path. Those who have never come, they're already jailed by, victimized by those things permanently. From the spirituality standpoint, they are in Kalapani only, in the jail, without freedom, till the whole life is over. But we are out of that Kalapani, we are somewhere in Tihar jail. That is better. That we have some freedom selected for our sadhana. Even this also is neutralized, nullified, made ineffective, made discontinued by these our own inner traits or anything coming from outside. And mind you, nobody from the outer world comes to disturb our sadhana. They are innocent. They are at that level of such a type of suggestions only. It is we who are supposed to have the discretion, discrimination to listen what they say and what is the spiritual benefit in it or loss. अगर loss हो रहा है, in a beautiful, decent, smiling manner, we should be able to tell them, भाई मैं सत्संग में हूँ या साधना में हूँ, आज नहीं हो पाएगा. या नहीं तो आप भी आ जाओ सत्संग में, सुनेंगे 1 घंटा. Isn't it? That is the thing by which we can, the few moments of a distraction, if we can avoid, we are safe for that day. It happens to you and me every day before coming to class. The 2 3 minutes that thought of let us go somewhere, do something else, something comes either from within or outside. We conquer it. We say class ke baad. That's how we are able to come, sit, listen. So too while doing your any of these sadhanas. Mind's suggestions are plenty because Vyuttana samskaras are the dharma. Sarvartada samskara are the dharma of the dharmi chitta. It innocently comes. And it is not a pratyaya, it is only a vritti. Whether to succumb to that vritti or not, we should decide. It depends on our pratyaya. Pratyaya means knowledge. I know, like I have to go, let me go somewhere. The thought from within or somebody's suggestion. It is only a vritti, na? It is not a pratyaya. How come that ordinary vritti is overpowering the pratyaya, the knowledge that this is the time for my sadhana? This whole life is for my sadhana. ये वाला प्रत्यय स्ट्रांग होता तो कोई भी वृत्ति जो जड़ात्मक होते हैं they won't overpower us. So we are not bad, we are good, we are sincere. We don't have such very many negative qualities like big terrorists or all that. We are better good terrorists. We are good people. But where do we go wrong is this. Like your own children, not at all bad, very good, but some place little laziness overpowers them, little playing mood overpowers them. But that is enough for that fellow to be irregular and insincere for the studies, and he never excels it, and it becomes a habit or hobby. Not that he is doing very big crime or anything, but छोटा है, but वो काफी है. You know, like one finger is enough in front of eyes, even to cover such a big sun, isn't it? इतना हथेली ही बस दोनों आँख के सामने रखो, आँख खुला है, सामने रखो, पूरा दुनिया नहीं दिखेगा, इतना बड़ा दुनिया जो देख सकता था आँख बिफोर. In the same way, small little distractions, small little suggestions are the ones which fail us. And we being spiritual sadhakas, see that pain every one of us have to go through to be able to say no to that. I know in saying no to that, some obligations, some love, all of that थोड़ा खोना पड़ता है. But then the other knowledge that all of them are ephemeral, all are the mind created. This we are doing from millions of life. In that other than sporadic, temporary, little pleasure like Rama is going to say today. Or morning, where we stop today in our Shweta Ashvatara Sambandha Bhashya. Anityatwadi Darshanatu. है ना अपेत इह स्वर्गादि भोग इच्छा राहित्यम. Isn't it? If that knowledge is there readily available to us, then we are ready. You know, like somebody very dear ones left us or died. So miserable, so painful. But if the knowledge is there that he is also Jiva, will have to travel in his own path for his evolution. Thank you to him, he gave us a good company. May he progress or that Jiva progress in the life. आगे ये wisdom अगर हमारे पास है तो that attachment, that happiness which we were getting from that person, that love, we will be able to forego. चलो ठीक है आगे. वो knowledge नहीं है तो we get affected and suffer for a long time. In the same way, the anityatva of the worldly sukha pleasure, when it is in the mind, then that much pain will not come when we say no to these small little suggestions. And what all of this we are doing for our higher sadhana pursuit. नहीं तो ये ऐसा ही रहेगा, एक नहीं लाखों जन्म नामक अवसर मौका मिलने के बावजूद. Lakhs of opportunities of being human, being Indian, being Hindu, being with a guru, being getting a chance of study Shastra. Lakhs of times such opportunities come without giving us any push. If we don't become aware of this and get ready to say no or sacrifice to those small little inner suggestions or outer any of the temptation. है ना छोटा ही होता है लेकिन बहुत 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 उसका ये आदत बन जाता है ना. then nuksan bada hai. Now, these are the very sensitive areas where we become stiffer and stronger. Then only we'll be consistently able to do whatever we are convinced about as our sadhanas, authentic sadhanas, learned from our Guru and Shastra. So, another way of saying it is what? When no such suggestions from the world come, understand that is a blessing of the God telling you to become introverted. Even from the inner mind also, like Rama Sthiti, when the Vairagya comes for everything, अब तालियां बजाओ उसके लिए. किस्मत है वो उन दिनों का हमारा. बस डिसाइड करो साधनाओं को relentlessly इतना करो. You know that bad example, कोई भी कुछ खाने की चीज का लारी लुढ़क जाता है मानो, कैसे लोग ऊपर कूद कूद कर उसको लूट कर ले जाते हैं. तेल गिर जाता है तो लूट के ले जाते हैं, दारू के बोतल भी लूट के ले जाते हैं, सब्जियां गिर गए, किसी को खैर खैर नहीं होता कि यार किसी का होगा दुखी होगा वो. नो, पीपल टेक इट रन. सच ए बैड एग्जाम्पल आई एम गिविंग for the good thing that when from the outer and inner lives much problems are not there to do sadhana, grab that opportunity like those greedy fellows and involve in sadhana. And if the body also cooperating, mind senses also are cooperating, तो सोने पे सुहागा बाबा. याद करो ऐसे situations किनको मिल रहे हैं इन कलयुग में. और for us also, where did we get? Throughout life, we are busy in duties, in obligations, in attending so many compulsories of earning the money, taking care of brothers, sisters, ये वो कितने बिजी थे हम बेचारे. अब नाउ अगर थोड़ा मौका मिल रहा तो इज इट नॉट ए ग्रेस? Should we not use it with open hands, grabbing that? While doing this, be aware about these small little suggestions, but followed leads to big, big losses in spiritual sadhana from within or without. In a decent, smiling manner, just say no to it, drop it, back to your vigorous tapasyas, sadhanas, whatever we are doing. Now, in all these things, we are guided through Sri Rama's this great text of Yoga Vaashishtha Ramayanam. When we study and see in what way Rama's thinking, contemplation went on going on, as a result, he got such a perfect Vairagya that the Gurus of Vaashishtha Vishwamitra are forced to give him such a great knowledge, which we are slowly going to see. Before that, Rama's Viveka Shakti, Vicharana Shakti, therefore, understanding the Maya delusion of the world, how it, by tempting us with small little pleasures, tying down us to the being a samsari, all of that he is pointing out. ये हाल है गुरु, गलत है तो ठीक करो, सही है तो सहाय करो. देखो what to do. Is very touching Shastra, this is. For the serious, sincere spiritual seeker. ऊपर ऊपर वालों के लिए तो heavy शास्त्र. They may decide also. They won't tell me, but they decide. अब I can't understand this शास्त्र, तो I give a बहाना. आजकल स्वामी जी ठीक नहीं बोल रहे, इसलिए मैंने शास्त्र सत्संग छोड़ दिया. अरे टेक्स्ट वी आर स्टडिंग, शास्त्र वैसे ठीक बोला नहीं बोला क्या होता है उधर, बट वो बहाना बन जाता है. But we miss it. Those who miss, they are, less qualified, less ready for these higher treatments. Those who are ready, they enjoy. Even if not ready, when they are regular, they will be made ready. Like, do you think I am ready for studying all these shastras? No. We are attempting, so we are made ready. Such a beautiful Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayana. First Vairagya Prakaranam, 15th Sarga, Sri Rama doing the Ahankara Garhanam. 10-11 mantras visa, 10-11 more are there. Let us try to study them also and see how much our intellects are sharp to tune to Rama's level of thinking and grasp and see the truth in them and implement in our lives. ओम 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 सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओमापदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं। वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति पराङ्गतिम्। ॐ यद्वाक्यामृतपायिनां प्रतिपदं सत्यं सुधानीरसा यद्वाक्यार्थविचारणादभिमदः स्वर्गोऽपि कारागृहं। यद्वाणी विशदात्मपूर्णमनसां तुच्छं जगत्तूलवत् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। यस्यार्षं प्रथिता जगत्त्रयहिता सा वेदमाता परा यश्चक्रे तपसा वशे सुरगणान् अन्यत् शिश्रुक्षुर्जगतो स्तम्भोधाम्बुनिधिं तपस्वि मुकुटालङ्कार चिन्तामणिं विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहम्। श्रुत्या ब्रह्मैव रामः प्रकटितमहिमा येन तस्मै वसिष्ठः यः सीतां ब्रह्मविद्यामिव सदसि पुनः सत्यशुद्धां किलादात् यद्वाणी मोहमूलं शमयति जगदानन्दसन्दोहदोग्ध्री तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्धिधीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं भैरपि कलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मभक्तियोगधर्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीरामचन्द्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्री वशिष्ठ महर्षि नमः। श्री विश्वामित्र महर्षि नमः। श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि नमः। श्री भारद्वाज महर्षि नमः। श्री वेदव्यास महर्षि नमः। श्री वामदेव महर्षि नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यमोध श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहासोक्त भगवद्भागवत ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्ति सनातन धर्मस्य वैदिक हैन्दव संस्कृतेः साम्प्रदायानां शास्त्राणां गुरुशिष्य भक्त भगवत् परम्पराणां भक्ति योग वेदांतादि मोक्ष मार्गाणां पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वध्यात्मिक प्रगति विश्वशान्ति एकता कल्याण पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापने कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं स सर्वेषां गुरूणाम् आचार्याणां संस्थानां आश्रमाणां श्रेयविलासिनां भक्तशिष्यसेवकसाधकानां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्यक्षेमस्थैर्यधैर्यवीर्याणि समस्तशक्तिसम्पदा सानुकूल्यता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्याभ्यन्तरशत्रुविघ्ननिर्मूलनद्वारा धर्मसंस्थापने निरन्तर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराममन्दिरवत् शिवकृष्णादिमन्दिराणां समस्तमन्दिराणां पुनर्वाप्ति तस्मिन् तेषु निरन्तर भगवद उपासना यज्ञ सत्संग शास्त्र अध्ययनादि द्वारा समस्त विश्वे धर्म मोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां पुनस्स्थापनार्थमनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री योगवासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे मोक्षार्थं करिष्यामहे। ओम श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि प्रणीत योगवासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति शास्त्रं प्रथम प्रकरणं वैराग्य प्रकरणं मङ्गलाचरणश्लोकाः। ॐ यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभाति अवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। ॐ अथ पञ्चदश सर्गः। श्रीराम उवाच। Beautiful shloka with which we paused yesterday, the 10th shloka. What Rama says was, Aham iti asti chet he Brahman, aham apadi dukkitaha, na asti chet sukhitaha, tasmat anahankarita varam. Very beautiful, sublime, true analysis. He says, Aham iti asti chet. If that ahankara, identifying with the upadhis, is there, separating itself from the divine and the world, aham, this aham alone, that which maintains itself, separates itself, it is apadi dukkhitaha. It alone goes to the doing of very many papa, leading to the apada, leading to the dukkha. Now the beauty is what? Nasti chet. When aham itself is not there, it won't will have any upadita atmya, nor it will do any adharma and papa, nor the apadas come, nor there will be dukkha. Where there is no dukkha, there is nothing but sukha only. Tasmat, my conclusion is this, hey Guru, anahankarita varam. Varam means shreshtham. So the ahankara rahitya is the shrestha. At the most, the functional aham becoming instrument of the Lord, in which whatever according to varnashrama dharma to be done, that alone is done. More than that, the ajnani ahankara, the upadita atmya ahankara, the kamana ahankara, then the karta ahankara, then karmaphala prapta ahankara, karmaphala bhokta ahankara, that should not be allowed to precipitate. No, it is sensitive thought, very sublime, not easy to catch. It's like mercury only. फिसल के हाथ से गिरा नीचे, you can't catch it with the hand. कोशिश करो टिनी. ये विषय भी ऐसे ही होते हैं. It expects little higher level of subtlety and purity gained through some upasanas, that there will be able to objectify the aham, see its functionings and how it is becoming miserable, and I being that I am feeling the misery. These understandings can be done. Rama has done that. So Rama's state of mind is for my dukkha. No thing or being or situation in the world is the cause. My dukkha causes me only, the aham. See the three ahams. One is Purna aham, that is aham brahmasmi. Second is the functional aham, which is a part of Ishvara's creation. This aham, now I'm telling just to make you understand, don't take it literally. The aham functional is like the artificial intelligence nowadays the whole world is talking about. है ना? It should be like that. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को हमें यूज करना है, ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ. दैट इज वेरी डेंजरस, है ना? टू दैट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वाला रोबो को इफ यू टेल इट गो एंड ब्रिंग समथिंग फ्रॉम द अलमीरा और द फ्रिज, This fellow, he only receives that commands, can't think much. To some extent, he will think. And if there is no lock, key is there of the door or almirah, he will break and go and get that. Because his command is like that. So that artificial intelligence that way has to be very carefully monitored. अभी कर रहे हैं ये लेक्चर जो 30 साल के बाद सुनेगा ना they will laugh at me because we are at the prime initial stages of it. In next 30-40 years वो तो इतना यूज हो जाएगा हर जगह. No, what I am giving that example here is एक answer कि our intelligence is not ours succumbing to our vasanas or mind's habits. Our intelligence is study Shastra from Guru, know from it what we have to do, only doing that. This is called functional aham. The third aham is upaditadatya, upadisleva aham, which sees the world, labels the world, desires the world, works for the world, gets disappointed or kicked by the world. Yesterday we see that no, dukkham alone is the result in the world. है ना? लेकिन गीता में भगवान कहते हैं आज बच्चों को कि सत्वात् संजायते ज्ञानम हाँ, रजसो लोभयो च ज्ञानमावृत्य तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत सत्वम सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि और अदर श्लोक रजसस्तु फलम दुःखम अज्ञानम तमसो फलम. Be careful about those things. So slowly we have to listen with courage these things. Allow these things to go inside. Like the Kattar Arabic Islamists are listening to the words of Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma. Therefore, they're understanding the truth of it. They're understanding the purity in them. They're understanding the simultaneously individual evolution and universal evolution. Both of them mentioned in our Sanatana Dharma Shastras. Such a high level of it. They are exposing their understanding, the hatred, bitterness, which they had at the level of fanaticism, at the time of fanaticism, that is slowly getting reduced. A healthy sign in our life also. Such sublime things, where कट्टर अहंकारी है तो हम उनको सुनने को तैयार नहीं होते. But when we start listening, allowing it to sink in, give a thought to it, try to understand it, we get such a big solution for all problems of us. Like at the superficial level also, it is my selfishness, my ego, my anger are the ones because of which the people are leaving me and going. To realize this, so much pain it takes. It's a very bitter truth. But somehow by God's grace, if one has realized it, Mano, and accepted it, and changes himself, whole life he will have everybody's love, etc. Isn't it? Same but little subtler than that. Is this subject of ahankara objectification, and doing the vigarhanam of that, as Rama is teaching us. Tasmad anahankarata varam, the Shrestha. So, the functional ego, the supreme spiritual aham, and the ego with the upadhis and arrogances and claimings and authorities, the dominances, ये सारा जो सांसारिक अहंकार. अब देखो मजेदार बात, थोड़ा आउट ऑफ टॉपिक कि जो बंदा किसी भी रीजन से जितना ज्यादा अहंकार हुकूमत जमाता है ना, वो बंदा उसी चीज से इतना डंडा पाता है. बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल इज द पेरेंट्स. They, as ego as a parents, try to dominate the children, and they suffer because of children more than anybody in the world. Because the more they say, "You are my child, you must listen to me," the child proves, "अरे मूर्ख लोग, हम तो ऐसे जीव आ गए आपके द्वारा, हमारा अपना काम है." They don't say that. They behave exactly, and we are worried. Swamiji, why my children don't listen? अरे children are there to take care, not to tell them what you want. If they ask, you tell. Tell once. If they don't listen, understand that it is a punishment to you because you are not listening to me. है कि नहीं? If you tell to भगवान, भगवान मेरे बच्चे गल नहीं सुन, भगवान से तू भी मेरा बच्चा है, कभी सुना मेरी बात? देखो मैं दुखी हूँ क्या? I'm accepting. Wherever our ego, let us say the ego is caught in money, this money up and down is the one which keeps this ego so restless. Ki dino din he never sleeps properly, eats properly. So to the ego associated with bhoga mano, that bhoga takes to such a roga that he will suffer because of that bhoga. This is also not being realized by us. Ego, identifying with any upadi, seeking sukha from that alone is the cause of all dukkha. When we do our duties, there is no dukkha. But when we realize our actual self, there is only sukha. Think about these three ahams. Purna aham, functional aham, which is a part of creation. Then arrogance aham, because of some or the other meaningless reasons. Thank you. Come to this 11th mantra. Ahankaram parityajya une shantamanastaya avatishte gatodvegaha bhogaughah bhanguraspadaha. Wow, beautiful. Because of all these reasons, He Mune, Guru Mune means a vocative address to our Rishi Vishwamitra ji. Sri Rama says, He Mune, Ahankaram Parityajya, giving up Ahankara of all sorts. Paritaha Tyajya. At the most, I am instrument in the hands of Lord to do whatever He says. More than that, I as a specified ego, for any reasons of identifying the upadhis, I am not. So let us say I am aham. I am given a buddhi. The buddhi given by the God. So I need not become arrogant if my buddhi is sharp, subtle or anything. And I don't need to become guilty or degrading also if the buddhi given to me by the Lord is not sharp. अरे वो वैसा काम कराना चाहते हैं मुझे, मैं क्या करूँ आज? So this is the meaning of paritaha ankaram त्यज्य. By no means I am allowing the ahankara to sustain. One. Therefore, shantam anastaya. My inner antakarana, the mana, becomes so shanta because the aham is not there. The aham alone instigates the mana to become ashanta with so many desires, projections. That aham is inactivated. है ना, जब गाड़ी का कार का चाबी को इसे खंबे घुमाते हो, दैट स्टॉप करते हो ना, एंटायर इंजन का खड़खड़ खड़ रुक जाता है कि नहीं? दैट खड़खड़ खड़ इज माइंड, दैट चाबी चढ़ा के रखना इज अहंकार. अब राम जी कहते हैं मैं अहंकार को छोड़ दिया, अहंकार परित्यज, दैट थड़कड़ ऑफ द मन इज गॉन, शांत मन, शांत मनस्तया अवतिष्ठे. आई एम नाउ इन दैट मूड. गत उद्वेग, I have no udvega. Udvega means the restlessness in heart because of some desire and wanting to achieve something, some desire to do, some desire to prove something. ये सारा उद्वेग कहते हैं. कोई नहीं है. But not a tamoguna, remember. Not a sleepiness it is. It is a highly active, dynamic state of functioning of intellect with its discrimination, which has known the cause of problem to be ego. It kept it away. Therefore, it is the highest level of very silence, potent silence it is. Not a sleepy silence. So, gatodvega. Wow. Ahankaram parityajya. Shanta manastaya himune avatishte. I am staying here now. Gata udvegaha. There is no udvega in me. It is from my side of how the ego is quietened. Therefore, the mana is shanta. Then there are no udvegas of the chitta, buddhi, ityadi projecting to do this or that. This from inside. What about the other cause of propagating or strengthening the ahankara? The outer causes of the temptations or of the calls etc. उसका आंसर क्या है? भोग औघः भंगुरास्पदः. The ogha, the accumulation of all the bhogas, the collection of all the bhogas, the set of all the bhogas, all of them are, in my understanding, are bhangura aspadaha. They are like the bhangura, what you call the bubble only. By the time you try to feel enchanted about it, पचक वो तो टूट जाता है. हाथ लगाया टूट गया. So about that also, their kshana bhanguratva is very clear understood by me. Therefore, I am not interested. See, आयु पल्लव कोणाग्र लंबाम्बो क्षण भंगुरम, वो वाला थॉट राम जी में ना इतना बैठ गया. टेम्पररी के पीछे जाओ भोकर, when it lives and goes, the dent it leaves, the pain it leaves is unbearable. So better accept it to be temporary, don't go for it. Luckily, there is something permanent, let us seek it. Rama will be taught about it. That is the main theme of the Upanishad, the Shastra. But right now, we are seeing the qualification of a fit student for such a great Shastra. So again remember, Ahankaram Parityajya Hemune Shantamanastaya Avatishte Gatodvegaha Bhogaugaha Kshanabhanguraha. Wow, beautiful, na? Bhoga Augaha Bhanguraspadaha. I am not worried about it. This Kshana Bhanguratva of the Jagat, if it is caught, and that is what is binding us when we live evaluate with all sighings, sadnesses, disappointments, isn't it? अरे हो गया रे बाबा, वो वाला डिसअपॉइंटमेंट. क्यों उस टेम्पररी को परमानेंट चाहते हैं? ये वाला हम पकड़ लिए ना. एंड विद द बेसिस ऑफ इट, इफ यू कैन से no to that bhanguraspad bahya bhoga, we have really achieved lot of qualification to become introverted, to find what is permanent, eternal, immutable, birthless, changeless, modificationless, deathless, miseryless, blissful, infinite self. May we all, through the study of Shastras, all this, become fully convinced of it, qualified for the ultimate. Shloka 12. Brahmanyavadhankar varidah parijrumbhate tavad vikasamayati drushta kutajamanjari. So simple it is, not complicated. Example also simple. Simple. Brahman, O Lord, Guru, O Brahma Swarupa, Muni, Yavat, jab tak, as long as Ahankara Varidaha. Ahankara named Varidaha, Varida, givers of water, the clouds. As long as the cloud of Ahankara, Parivijrumbate, is lavishly expressing itself, Dhavat only, till that only, Vikasa Mayati, the Vikasa, the blossoming and growing up of happens of what? Trishna Kutaja Manjari, the Trishna named that lotus. Kutaja Manjari. The Kutaja Manjari is a flowers which are inside the daldal. There are two problems with it is either they may be poisonous when you take it, or it may be in pursuit of that. When you go ahead, we fall and get lost in that quicksand or daldal. Maybe these are the two reasons that are given here to understand the Trishna compared with this Kutaja Manjari. Just like the clouds are without water now, Varida is without Vari, no water, no rain, summer hot, then this Kutaja, Manjari, the lotus, it gets dried up. It is not even born also. So that is compared with the Trishna, and Varida compared with the Ahankara. Therefore, as long as Ahankara named Megha are there, so long Trishna named Kutaja Manjari will be there. Ahankara named Megha gone, Trishna Kutaja Manjari, the poisonous, deadly, is also gone. So Ahankara and Trishna go together. Megha and Kutaja Manjari are the examples. Upamanam कहते हैं उसको. So this is reciprocative. More and more Trishnas we entertain, more and more strengthening we do of our Ahankara. Stronger is the Ahankara, it expresses as various Trishnas. And Trishna we know, thirst in English. तृष्णा का अर्थ होता है जितना भी पानी पीने के बावजूद भी जो थर्स्ट खत्म नहीं होता, दैट इज कॉल्ड तृष्णा. Never quenchable thirst is called as trishna. That is why that word. You are drinking water, stomach is filled, और आधा ग्लास पियो पट भी जाएगा पेट, but still the trishna doesn't go away. That's called as trishna, isn't it? Like in our life, which is the bhoga we have not got? Many. Maybe many might have not got, never mind. How about the same bhogas which you have gone through? Still don't we have desire? That is the meaning of Trishna. जो खत्म ही नहीं होता. विचित्र ना, एवरी डे इट रिलैप्सेस. है कि नहीं? सत्संग का ऐसा नहीं होता. हाँ, एक दिन सत्संग सुन लिया ना, नो तृष्णा फॉर सत्संग. स्वामी जी, यू टेल मी अबाउट डोंट हैव तृष्णा, हैव ओनली तृप्ति ना. आई एम स्टार्टिंग विथ यू. एक क्लास 2 मिनट मैंने सुन लिया, तृप्ति हो गई. नो तृष्णा फॉर यू एंड योर क्लास. बाय बाय. व्हाट अबाउट चाय चाय? पिछले 80 साल से सुबह दोपहर शाम कितने हजारों चाय पत्ती वाले किसान लोग जन्म लेकर शरीर छोड़ दिए हमारे लिए चाय पत्ती बनाते बनाते. Trishna, like that, any one of them. So this Trishna, desire, all of that put together, you have to understand here, will Vikasa Mayati will always be active, alive in us when there is an ego. So remember how quiet the Rama's mind must be for his intellect to contemplate on these very intricate, internal, sublime happenings of the relation between Ahankara and Trishna. Stronger is Ahankara, greater are Trishnas. Greater and more are Trishnas, more stronger is Ahankara. And both of them cause of dukkha. Because it will make us pursue so many outer things. The one common dukkha is Kshana Bhangura. Bhoga Ugaha Kshana Bhanguraha, Bhanguraspadaha. Think about it. No, this is how when we go deeper in our study, the understanding also becomes deeper. Then from the root level, we can remove the ignorances, the catchy caught-ups or the delusions, etc. Then free our life, our minds from these unwanted things. Then only that free minds are available to apply for the Krishna Rupa Dhyana, the Rama Nama Dhyana, then Shiva Dhyana Dhyana, Devi Anugraha Dhyana, the Ganapati and Vigna Nirmulana Dhyana, or the Upanishad Mantra Dhyana, ye greater, higher, nobler things. Why we are not able to do? Because mind is not calm, it is restless. Why? Because Trishna and Ahankara are very strong. Vichare, that is making the mind so restless, as it is said in the above shloka, Gatodvegaha. हमको उद्वेग ही है. उद्वेग के साथ साथ हम गतः मर रहे हैं, लेकिन उद्वेग नहीं जा रहा है. रेस्टलेसनेस. So simple. Ahankara varida, yavat it is there, tavat this Trishna named Kuttaja Manjari will also be Vikasa Mayat. And then how this aham can be reduced is, one of the thing is doing for somebody else. And in that, don't attach to that body. That is why best is do it for the God. ओके ना, परमात्मा के लिए करते रहने से परमात्मा के प्रति भक्ति प्रेम हो सकता है, अटैचमेंट नहीं. But with the loga, either you may have the attachment developed in course of time or expectation, or they may in their ignorance get attached to us. Both ways it is danger. इसलिए पूरे शास्त्रों में थोड़ा सा ही कहते हैं कि सबके लिए कुछ न कुछ करो, ज्यादा तो कहते हैं भगवान के लिए करो, है ना. मन मना मत भक्तो मध्याजी, ऑल ऑफ दैट. मत कर्मकृत मत परमः मत भक्तः इत्यादि. That's the safest thing. To reduce our own ego and Trishna, we have to live life of bhakti, offering everything to the God. Otherwise, Trishna Kutaja Manjari, Ahankara Varida, they create havoc. Clear? Come to the next mantra, 13. Similarly, Ahankara Ghane Shante, Trishna Navatadillata, Shantadipa Shikha Vrutya, Kvapyatyati Satvaram. How cute this way of saying. Examples are beautiful, thought provoking, and the thought itself is so sublime, making us mature if we allow it to sink into our inner system. Again, if the antivirus put in the computer, if it doesn't go inside, it can't eliminate the virus. So to the antibiotic, it doesn't enter to the system, it can't remove the bacterial infections. So too, the anti-samsara thoughts given by Rama, here, if they don't enter into our system, the corrupt samsaric way of life, creating confusion for us, it won't be treated. Allow this to sink in, not later, not tomorrow, not day after. Now, right now, here and right here. If we can, within next a month or so time, train ourselves to grasp what is heard here itself, and take some strong commitments, send those commitments within our hearts. I think we'll be doing a great human service to our own spiritual personality. So the Sara so far is the Ahankara is the culprit. That has to be not given importance or value. Let me be the Sevaka of Bhagavan, Das of Bhagavan. That's it. Me or mine and for me. Aham, mama, mahyam. These three things I will not allow. Consciously become aware of the thought. The moment erupts, this thought has come from this vasana layer, and because of the identity with this particular upadhi, for the sake of this desire fulfillment, but it is not correct. And the backup for all of that, the backing of all of that is this ego. And the ego will cry when that desire is not fulfilled. It is better let it cry rather than fulfilling it and making it more arrogant and strong. So this type of objectification of the Ahankara, objective observation of the vasanas, and objectifying the desire that has come, and understanding the dukkha loss we incur if involved in them, called as Pratibhaksha Bhavana, when this becomes a habit in us. Slowly, steadily, the number of vasanas get purgated, the influence of vasana on the chitta becoming as desires gets reduced, the agitations get reduced, the trishnas, the pulls into the world, the restlessness, the अशांति ओघ जो कहा यहाँ सारे कम होते रहेंगे. Same thing in the morning is tasya prashantavaita tasya manasaha. See, morning you see, because of nirodha parinama prashantavahita chittasya. Here also prashant. Ah, such person can become creative any useful fields if the Lord wills or if he wills. And if he is a Vairagi sadhaka, he will enter into the deep understandings of Vedanta and revels always in those truths only. वाह, मजा रहेगा वाला जिंदगी, very high level. Seek it, and when we seek it, we may be pulled out of the routine samsaric things. Be ready to the for the Lord. Like now, these four boys, when they are now sent in Gaganyana to go to the Gagana in spacecraft, they're selected out of 140 crore people. So they have to give up their attachment to the earth. Then only they can fly high. Those four I was morning thinking as Manomadi Chittankara, getting out of the Upadhi Tadatmya and merging in Paramatma. Isn't it? Ahankara Chatushte, instead of with Indriya and Sharira getting lost in the outer world, if all these four are merged in Paramatma, Antakara Chatushtaya. Buddhi through Jnana Marga, then Mana through the Bhakti Marga, Chitta through the Yoga Marga, Ahankara through Karma Yoga Marga. Because Karta Bhokta nahi hai wahan. I'm just noting here. Now the next sloka what we chanted was Ahankara Ghane Shante. Okay, Ahankara Ghane Shante. When the cloud of Ahankara becomes quietened, then Trishna Nava Tadil Lata. The Trishna named ever fresh Lata, which is compared as with the Tadit, the lightning. Trishna Nava Tadil Lata. So Ahankara Trishna, which introduced in the above shloka, is continued here. Ahankara Gana, cloud, when it becomes Shanta, the Trishna Nava Tadil Lata. Trishna, which is like Tadit. Tadit is lightning. Lata ki tarah dikhti hai, no? That lightning is like a creeper only. What happens to that when the clouds quieten? You can't see when the clouds are not there, the lightnings. And just these lightnings so much were there. when the clouds were thundering, bursting, raining, ask a question, कहाँ चले गए? You understand? कहाँ चले गए? They went into their own absence. क्वेश्चन की जरूरत ही नहीं, चले गए वो चाहिए हमको बस. In the same way, when the ahankara rupi cloud goes away, the trishna rupi tadillata, trishna the lightning चली जाती. कैसी चली जाती है? कहाँ चली जाती है? उसके लिए भी another example is given. Example is called कि शांत दीप शिखा वृत्तिया. So the oil is there, the deepa shikha continuously burning. Half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, good amount of oil you poured, 3-4 hours. थोड़ा थोड़ा ऑयल खत्म होते ही द दीप शिखा, द शिखा इज फ्लेम, वेरी स्लोली यू कैन ऑब्जर्व इट योर आई. इतना बढ़िया सा जल रहा था, धीरे धीरे कम कम होता होता होता, व्हेन द लास्ट suckable oil also is sucked away by that wick, then you can see टप छोटा साउंड कर कर वो दीप बुझ जाता है, वेरी माइक्रो साउंड. नो यू आस्क, ये शिखा जो 4 घंटे से था कहाँ गया? It has gone into its own absence. In the same way, when the Ahankara Ghana reduces, like the Deepashika goes oblivion, non traceable, so to the Trishna also goes to the non traceable place, not traveling us. That is the meaning of Ahankara Ghane Shante Trishna Namak Nava Tadillata Shanta Deepashika Vritya Kwa Api Ati Atisatvaram goes away so soon. When you stop oil pouring or oil is reduced, देखते देखते 4 घंटे का बुझ दीप 1 सेकंड में बुझ जाता. So to this Trishna named Tarilata, when the Ahankara is dropped, very soon it just goes away. And remember, Trishna is the one which makes us commit all adharma papa and makes us strengthen in our identity with upadhi, in turn takes us away from our real self. So in this shloka, अहंकारा अहंकार का नजदीक तृष्णा, ये दोनों का ग्रहण हमको थोड़ा थोड़ा दिख रहा है. Think more about it for more clarity and understanding. Next one, कि अहंकार महाविंध्ये मनोमत्त महागजः विस्फूर्जति घनास्फोटैः स्तनितैरिव वारितः. Rama was in this travel, gone to many villages also, pahadi areas also, big towns also, where lot of temples, ashramas are there in his Tirtha Yatra. While traveling, the months it took, so because of the months, different atmospheres he has seen, gone through. समर भी देखा उन्होंने, बरखा भी देखी, बारिश खत्म होते हुए जो शरद ऋतु के वो भी मेघ देखा. Then he must have seen the शिशिर ऋतु, the सर्दी वाला. He has seen all. Therefore, he is comparing all of that with what he has understood through his inner contemplation regarding who is the main culprit. In this chapter, Ahankara and Trishna. Again, he says, Ahankara Mahavindhe. In this Shreni of the Vindhya Parvatas, called as Ahankara, Manaha Matta Mahagajaha. Mind named intoxicated, a Mahagaja, huge elephant, Vispurjati, Ghana Aspota, making a terrible sound with its aspota, maybe hitting itself with its own trunk or hitting with the trunk, the trees or the ground, or maybe the mountains, etc. But Ghana Aspota Vispurjanam, terrible sound this elephant of mind is making when the Vindhya Parvata of the Ahankara is there. Or in the Vindhya Parvata Shreni of the Ahankara, the mind named Mahamatta elephant makes lot of terrible sounds. Here elephant making sounds is continuous imagination, continuous projections, continuous desires, continuous expectations. Because of all this restlessness, because of that the inadvertences, because of that committing so many mistakes and getting the punishment of it as misery and intoleration to those miseries, becoming angry. Yisara is called as these elephants Ghanaspota Vispurjanam, mind nama. अभी है ना हमारा मन वैसा ही है, हाथी के समान साउंड करते हुए. Vispurjati ghana aspotaihi. For that also, again, an example is given. Stanitaihi iva varidaha. How the cloud with that stanita, the terrible lightnings, thunders, how it makes sound. उसी तरह mind will make the sounds of trishnas, the desires, the angers, disappointment, dejections. All of them are the terrible waves in the mind, which are not required, but they are there only to give us so much dukkha. Why? Because this elephant mind is in that very strong mountain range of Ahankara Vindhya Parvat. So Ahankara Mahavindhe Manomatta Mahagajaha Vispurjati Ghana Asputaihi Sanitaihi Varidaha. Where there is strong ego, the mind with its desires, demands, imagination, projections, variety of emotions, sensitivities, it is very strong. Losing balance, doing all nonsense, creating dukkha. See how many examples Ramachandra is giving. How much he has objectified the aham. बाप रे बाप. जो ना जिस अहम को ही एक्चुअली परमात्मा को और उपाधियों को मिला हुआ. To explain it, the example of fire, iron ball, it is given. The mixture of iron and fire, red hot iron ball. So here instead of the pure self, you can take ahankar. The ego and the upadhi, they get mixed up so much that subjectifying even the ahankara as a upadhi becomes tough. Because it is very proximity to the self, self's expression as knowingness is very conspicuous in it. Because of that, it appears to be more realistic, more true. है ना? That is why mana buddhi chitta sharirendriya with little effort they can be objectified. क्योंकि पता भी चलता है मैं उनको जान रहा हूँ. बट दिस अहम, वो तो इट इज इतना चिपक गया था प्योर सेल्फ से कि वही सेल्फ का नाटक कर रहा है. उसको ऑब्जेक्टिफाई कर पाना becomes both difficult. That is why so much of inquiry is required. Rama is giving us the examples, logics, guidances, etc. Then one more shloka we'll see today. Iha deha maharanye ghanahankara kesari yoyam ullasati sparaha tenedam jagadadadam. ओके, वेरी सटल श्लोका. थोड़ा आज देखेंगे, कल बाकी. गुड यार, टुडे हमने 6 श्लोक देखा. गुड रन रेट. यह इन दिस लाइफ देह महारण्य, इन द बिग फॉरेस्ट कॉल्ड एज स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण देह घन अहंकार केसरी. इट इज द टेरेबल ब्राइटनिंग lion. केसरी मतलब named as ahankara is the one ullasati sparaha. So it is योयम उल्लसति स्पारः with उल्लास विलास के साथ. This lion of ahankara in this three deha named varanya, it is moving. Tena idam jagadatatam. And because of this ego only, that jagat of three avasthas with all its pursuits, all of them obviously are binding natured. They are all created or produced. तीनों शरीरों रूप जंगल में अहंकार सिंह के ही विचरण के कारण ये तीन अवस्थाएं रूप जगत जो दुख बंधन कारण है वो विस्तार से है ना. शरीर महारण्य अहंकार केसरी. कितने चीजों से अहंकार को कंपेयर किया ना. मेक ए लिस्ट ऑफ इट. दिस होल टेक्स्ट ऑफ 32,000 श्लोकास विल गो ऑन गिविंग अस ऑल दिस थिंग्स. सुनते रहना जिस दिन का उस दिन. इवन इफ इट इज फॉरगॉटन, नेवर माइंड. एवरीडे आकर वो 1 घंटा ध्यान से सुन के उसका आनंद लेने का आदत बनाए. दैट इज ए वेरी गुड बिगिनिंग, आई बिलीव. May the Rama, Vaashishtha, Vishwamitra, Valmiki bless us to become as deep and intense as required to be qualified, to be blessed by this Shastra for our own spiritual enlightenment. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya गुणमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो परमऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेद व्यास भरद्वाज आदि समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्य की जय। आज इतना काफी है, देखेंगे। देखो, स्टडिंग शास्त्र itself is a great thing we give to ourselves. When that is a moksha shastra that also at this level, I think it's a great blessings. Blessings are given. Taking is our job. Om Nadatra Suryo Bhadana Chandra Tarakam Deva Tasya Vasa Saran Om Narayana Yudhya Om Dasharatha Sita Om Namo Brahmadibhi Mangalam Gurudevaya Maha बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। बोल श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव भरद्वाज आदि समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्य ऋषि गुरुदेवता गण की जय। बोलो भाई श्रुति स्मृति पुराण इतिहास आदि समस्त सनातन धर्म शास्त्र की जय। सब संतन की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। आज के आनंद की जय। नम पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव हर। सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तन गोविंदा गोविंद। जानकी जीवन स्मरण जय जय राम राम। अम्बे में आदि पराशक्ति माता की जय। समस्त श्रोता भक्त साधक सेवक उपासक जिज्ञासु धर्म संस्थापक गण की जय। भारत माता की जय। सनातन धर्म की जय। वैदिक हिंदू संस्कृति की जय। आध्यात्मिक जीवन विधान की जय। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स। हा हा, एक और दिन रामायण। नारायण नारायण। ओम श्री राम।